Hi everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Dawn. I'm a 53-year-old woman here in the mature beauty community, and I wanted to share with you today my experience getting a filler for the very first time. And for me, it's injected in my lips. You may remember about 4 months ago, maybe a little over, I went to get my Botox refreshed. And at that appointment, I spoke with my plastic surgeon about getting a little bit of lip filler, and we talked about it. She made some recommendations of what she would suggest and the type of filler that she would suggest for me, and I took the information and I left, and I mulled it over for the past 4 months. I had periods of like, no, never, I'll never do it, to, yeah, I can't wait to do it. You know, it was kind of like the pendulum was swinging both directions. And I'm a very curious person, and I do like to experiment with different makeup, different products. And I think at the end of the 4 months, curiosity got the best of me. I really wanted to see how I would look with a little bit of filler in my lips. And I thought, well, the great thing about filler is that you can have it dissolved if you don't like it. You can have, it depends on your filler. I think most of them can be dissolved with hyaluronidase. So the filler that she was recommending for me and that I thoroughly researched and read all about, this filler can be dissolved. So that was one plus for the filler recommendation that she gave me. And then the other thing was that it will eventually wear off too if I like it, but I'm not really sure about it, but I do want to keep it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my goal. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the filler that my plastic surgeon and I agreed would be best for me. So I brought in this little pamphlet. Well, I brought it in from the waiting room. I found this in her waiting room 4 months ago, and I brought this in, and this is the photo. I showed it to you in a video before. This is what I wanted to achieve. Now, I know my lips look nothing like this woman's lips in the before and after, but what I liked about it is that it's so subtle. She's got her before photo, and you can see a little bit of volume loss, lines on her lips. Obviously, she's not wearing gloss like she is here. Why do they do that in these before and afters? They show the person looking just like no makeup, you know, at their worst, and then in the after, they're all glammed up. So this is no exception. So before, after, she still has a distinctive Cupid's bow, and she still has pretty much the same shape to her lips. Actually, absolutely the same shape to her lips, except that they are subtly fuller. So that was my goal. I am one of those people who I don't like the look of filler that looks like you know the person has filler, you know. So I brought this into the office with me 4 months ago, and we talked about it, and she said that it's definitely achievable. And my plastic surgeon does sell filler in half syringes. So, you know, sometimes you have to buy a full syringe of filler, but my plastic surgeon does sell them in half syringes. So that's a big plus because I did not want a full syringe of filler. I didn't think I needed it, nor did she. And so I did purchase one half syringe, and it was $340. I live right outside of the Chicagoland area, and I know costs can vary depending on where you live, and my filler is Volbella. And I'm going to tell you about Volbella. I wrote down some notes, and then I'm going to tell you why we decided that would be the best one for me. So Volbella is an injectable filler that uses naturally occurring hyaluronic acid that our body already makes, so you're not likely to become allergic to it. It's the same hyaluronic acid that our body will naturally make. And you use it to fill and contour your lips. You can accentuate the cupid's bow or the border of your lip a little bit if that's what you want to achieve. But it can be used for not only filling for plumpness, but also contouring. And it's also a filler that can be used for lip hydration. So they inject a little bit of this filler into your lips, and it basically smooths out any vertical lines that you have around your lips or in your lips. I do have very textured lips. I always have. And I was hoping to achieve some smoothness so that my lip products would look a little bit nicer. You know, it wouldn't go into the lines that are on my lips. So I wanted to just create that smooth surface. I don't have what they call smoker lines, those vertical lines, and those can be caused by any number of reasons. Pursing your lips a lot, obviously smoking, drinking out of a straw frequently, or just genetics. Some people are just genetically predisposed. Your muscles might pull in a certain way that create those vertical lines. So you get those from lots of reasons, not just smoking, but Volbella will smooth out smokers' lines as well. And Volbella also has lidocaine mixed in with the hyaluronic acid. So as the injector is injecting, it will make your experience a more comfortable one. My plastic surgeon did inject mine using a syringe and not a micro cannula. Some injectors will use a micro cannula where they go in just one spot and kind of pull it out and inject as they go. But since I was getting such a little bit of filler, and she wanted to strategically place it, she wanted to use a needle. So that's what she chose to use. The reason why she wanted to go with Volbella is that the molecules in Volbella are very small and it looks very like watery and fluidy. So it's really easy to inject just a little bit, and it can be very hydrating. And also she didn't need to go in, like if you've watched YouTube videos about people getting filler, sometimes the injector will put their thumb and forefinger on the person's lips and really manipulate the filler. Well, that's what they do with very dense fillers, but Volbella is very liquidy and not viscous. So she was able to just inject it and then kind of just pat it. She didn't have to push or manipulate it very much. I asked her about that, and she said with this filler, you don't need to do that. It will just kind of, go into place with just a little bit of, patting it around, and then she would inject a little more and do the same. So it was, just something I noticed. I expected her to have to like reach in there and really manipulate it, and she didn't have to do that. Volbella is a very long lasting filler. So most people start to notice it dissolving on its own around 9 months. She said some people with like really high metabolism or who exercise a lot, or, just people who kind of go through like Botox really fast because they're metabolizing it, they will metabolize the filler more quickly. But some people notice it lasting up to a year. But she said 9 months seems to be the spot where people want to come back and get a little more filler. And like I said, that made me very happy that it can be dissolved, because it is a long lasting filler, and so if I don't like it, I can have it dissolved at any time. So that is all about Volbella, and now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience. So when I went into her office, it was like at the 4.5 month mark to get my Botox refreshed here in my glabellar, and I think I got like 15 or 20 units here, and then I got 2.5 here and 2.5 here, and so that's like a total of 30 or 35 units, and that's all I do. That's all I've ever done with Botox. So with my lips, I wasn't really liking the way my lips were losing volume, particularly right here around my cupid's bow, but I was still having good volume here. I do have full lips to begin with, and you can see what my lips looked like at the starting point. I will put a little picture. That's what my lips looked like to begin with. And I have fullness kind of in the corners here, and my bottom lip was pretty full. So she didn't want to add a lot of filler to the bottom lip. She wanted to use the majority of the filler in my top lip. So my goal was to add the filler to fill in mainly here, like where my fingers are, the whole center part, because I did have good fullness here and my bottom lip, but I felt like I was losing some volume here on the top, or maybe I just never really had it and didn't notice. But I am 53 years old, so it would make sense that I've lost volume. So she injected just a teeny bit of filler on the bottom out of the half syringe, and then she injected the rest in the two halves of my upper lip. So my upper lip received almost all the filler, if that makes sense. So that's what we did. And the goal was to fill in, just the upper middle section of my lip. So she did use it in kind of a creative way. She is a plastic surgeon injector, so she's got a lot of skill and experience. So I completely trusted her. Plus, she's been where I've been going for my Botox all these years, and I know that she has a very busy office and has a lot of clients. And I've read lots of reviews, and I've talked to a lot of ladies who also go to this same plastic surgeon. So I did do my homework. I also watched a lot of YouTube videos of plastic surgeons that I really enjoy watching. I really trust them, and I'm going to put a link to both of their channels below, my favorite plastic surgeons to watch and that I really trust, so that you can, maybe check them out if you're considering any kind of facial procedure, Botox or filler or anything like that anywhere on your face or body for that matter. And I would be remiss to not mention potential complications that can happen with filler. And this can happen with any kind of filler as far as I know. But these are the things that I thought about and read up on in advance, so I knew going into it that I was in fact taking a risk. And if you choose to get filler, you are also willing to take a risk. So I wanted to put that out there. And so the biggest complication, we'll start with this one. It's a doozy, and it is rare, but it can happen, and that is vascular occlusion. I think that when people research filler and read about this one, this is the biggie that can really scare people off with good, reason. And so what it is when the filler gets injected into a blood vessel. It shouldn't be injected into a blood vessel, but if it does get injected into a vessel, it can occlude it. And then that blood flow can't flow, and it can cause tissue death and necrosis. And that's a very scary complication. It can cause your skin to die and just tissue death. It's like a heart attack, but on your lip or wherever your filler is injected. You'll lose, it's like it's dying. So hyaluronidase is the remedy for that. And that's another reason why I was very happy. The filler can be dissolved with hyaluronidase, and they inject hyaluronidase and dissolve the filler to save that tissue. And sometimes they can reverse it completely, but there are times when they can't. You do need to educate yourself on the signs and symptoms of vascular occlusion, so you can watch for them and get help right away if you need to. And I did do that, but it is a very rare complication. And I was going to a plastic surgeon with a very busy office. She does this procedure every single day, multiple times, and she's never had a case of vascular occlusion. So I felt comfortable taking that risk. Another one is just granulomas, and that would be like where your body knows that there's something in you that it doesn't like, and it encapsulates it off. And you can notice this by a hard lump that does not go away. It's kind of normal to have some little lumps of swelling after your injections, but if you continue to have these hard lumps, then you have a granuloma. And I'm not sure how they treat that. I don't know if they just go in with hyaluronidase and dissolve the filler there. I'm not sure. But that's another risk, and you should watch for that. I don't have any lasting lumps and bumps, so it's, I don't know if it can happen later. I think it might be able to. Now, like I said, this is hyaluronic acid, which your body naturally makes, so your body's not likely to detect it as foreign, but I suppose it can still happen. So there's another one. Another one would just be overfilling or filler migration, which my surgeon said happens with overfilling or not waiting for filler to be completely dissolved, and your filler can become displaced. And I think we've all seen that. You might even see people here on YouTube who have that phenomenon going on. And you'll be able to, if you're watching YouTube videos of these plastic surgeons explaining it, you'll be able to identify it. So basically it's when your filler migrates outside of the border of your lips and gets pushed up here, and that creates that kind of like round tire phenomenon, or that overfilled kind of bubble lip look, and that can happen. The remedy for that is having your filler completely dissolved with hyaluronidase, 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 hyaluronidase. That just seems to be the magic word. And just maybe a reaction to it that is paradoxical. Maybe it's something that doesn't happen hardly ever to anyone, but it happened to you, and that could just be a rash, swelling beyond what should happen. Those weird random things that you're like, I never read about this. I didn't expect this. I never knew this could happen. Well, I'm a nurse and those kinds of things can happen. So just watch for anything weird that is looking off, uncomfortable for you. Don't assume it's just you and that your filler will, it's just you. You're making a big deal about it. You'll just ignore it. If you have any questions or concerns, call your injector and go in and see them and have them look at it. And that will put your mind at ease. And they want you to have the best experience because they want you to come back, or if they're professionals, they want you to have the best experience, So you need to feel really comfortable with your injector. Ask a lot of questions. Like for me, I've been getting Botox for a long time, so I know my plastic surgeon. I know her office, I know her staff, I know her I just know her, and I'm very comfortable. But you might go make some phone calls or pick up the yellow pages because you don't have anyone. And if that's the case, read lots of reviews, ask lots of questions. And even if you're asking, go in for a consultation and ask the person who will be injecting you. Even if you've seen a negative review, ask them about that review. They want your business and they want you to feel comfortable, and you want to feel comfortable, and they're not your friend. They're somebody who is providing a service for you. And so you are in your right to ask all the questions that you feel like you need to ask. So I'm sorry that I'm going on and on about this, but I can't emphasize that enough. If you feel uncomfortable at all, then you don't go to that person. And another tip would be, if you know someone who's had procedures done and they look great, ask that person lots of questions. A lot of times friends, neighbors are, they'll ask, you could tell them, you could just say, what, I don't know if you've ever had any procedures done, but you are beautiful. And if you have, can you tell me what you've had done? Because I'm really considering having procedures done. And you might find that person will be like, no, I've never had anything done. Or they might just be very forthcoming. I actually have had that done. I'm going to be honest. I've got a lot of young neighbors who are millennials who've moved in. They're about 20 years younger than me. And I actually have one lady, she's probably in her early 40s, and she knows how old I am. And she's like, could you tell me what you've had done? Have you had anything done? Because you look great and I want to look great when I'm your age. And I was very flattered. I wanted to tell her. At the time, I didn't have this done, but I told her I've only had the Botox done, that I really just work hard. I stay out of the sun. You know, we can make a video about that. I won't go on and on. But I did tell her I was considering this and that I would let her know how it went and tell her everything. So you need that kind of big sister. So find one. Find that big sister and ask her lots of questions. And hopefully she'll be very honest and forthcoming with you. And if she's had a negative experience, I hope that she'll tell you that as well. So anyway, I went into the office and she asked what we were going to do. And I told her I was going to go through with the filler, and we sort of just kind of revisited our conversation from our previous one. So we were on the same page, what my goals were. I had my little picture with me still from the waiting room. She has a rack in the waiting room, so I brought it in with me. And she said, yes, let's just go ahead and do it because you will achieve what you want to achieve. And I asked her about 1 vial versus half a vial of filler, and she decided that half would be best. And I really liked that because she wasn't trying to oversell me and get me to purchase a full vial, even though I was kind of questioning, do I need that? And she said we could always, like, if I decide to go with more later, we can always revisit that, you know, when this filler is all dissolved. So the next thing she did was put a numbing cream all over my lips, and she went to go get the filler and the Botox, and then I sat there in about 5 minutes. I felt very, very numb. And when she came back into the room within 5 or 10 minutes, I could not feel anything. And then at that point, she wiped it off and she sanitized my lips again, and she gave me an ice pack. I was reclined at like a 45-degree angle, and she then sanitized my lips. She kept doing that between each injection, wiping my lips with like sanitizer. She started injecting and I couldn't feel anything. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and in almost all of them, people are going, ow, 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 and their eyes are watering a lot, and the injector keeps reassuring them, we're almost done, okay, hang in there. I couldn't feel anything. It was very almost pleasant. I was listening to some music, reclining, and I couldn't feel a thing. I could see her kind of coming in and injecting, but I couldn't even feel like the needle or any kind of pressure. I knew she wasn't applying a lot of pressure because I couldn't feel anything on the inside of my mouth, you know, which wasn't numb, like any pressure there. But yeah, so it was easy peasy. She just sort of went in, injected, went in, injected, and then she did a little bit on the bottom, and we were done, and I couldn't feel anything. My eyes were not watering afterward. It was amazingly comfortable. And I told her I was very surprised by that because that was not what I expected nor saw in videos. And she said that she uses this really great numbing cream. She didn't say what it was, but she's like, it's a really great numbing cream. It's a newer one. Everyone loves it. And you know, that was all she really said. So her numbing cream is like amazing. So I was very, very comfortable. I can't promise you that if you get it, that your injector will have the same numbing cream, but I don't know, that was something you could probably ask about. I was prepared to have the procedure done, even though I expected a lot of pain. Lips are very, you know, they're very sensitive. There's a lot of nerve endings, and I expected to be uncomfortable. So that was just a really pleasant side note that it was not uncomfortable for me. And so then, yeah, she took some before and after pictures. So after I was done, she took more pictures, and it was over with. Now you're seeing it for the first time in this video, and I probably still have some swelling going on. In fact, I'm sure I do. So right now my top lip does look a little bit larger than the bottom lip, but after all the swelling's gone, I think it will be a little bit less full than my bottom lip. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see together. But either way, I don't mind the fullness that I have right now. I may have already grown accustomed to it, although I was not spending a lot of time looking in the mirror. I was very, very bruised and swollen. And I'll enclose some video clips of right before going into the office and then coming out, what it was like immediately afterward, and then just a few check-ins to show you the amount of swelling and bruising that I had. Hi everyone. So it's 3.5 hours after I had the lip injections. I don't have anything at all on my lips right now, and I hope you can see that there are spots, like little knots on my lip at the injection site. Here, 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 here. She didn't do very much on the bottom, and you really can't tell on the bottom lip. But the top lip, you can definitely see it. The numbing cream has worn off, and I'm perfectly comfortable. I can do everything. I can blow kisses. I can rub my lips together. I can eat. I can drink. I don't feel anything. This is like my 3.5 hour check-in. It's the following morning, and last night, a lot of bruising. When I washed off all my makeup, there was a lot of bruising. The bruising set in on my top lip, and it was really dark, like a dark purple bruise, and swelling set in. This morning, the bruising is diminishing, and I'm happy about that. It seems quick for that, and I'm happy. It's about 20 hours since I had the filler injected. It's been 48 hours since I had the Volbella injected, and I don't have anything on my lips. I might have a little bit of like powder on my lips from applying my makeup, but I tried to like wipe it off the best I could. You can see that the bruising is considerably lessened. At least I hope you can see that. I don't think I have to wear a very dark lipstick today and use all my camouflaging techniques. We'll see. I have not applied my lipstick yet. I did all my makeup and then I just left it off so that you can see. But the swelling is down, and I actually really like the way my lips look right now, but I know that I still have some swelling that's going to go down more. So I think the doctor gave me exactly what I asked for, which was very natural, hydrated lips, and they're smoother, they'll be smoother than they were to begin with, which is exactly what I asked for. And right now they're plumper, but I do know the swelling should go down more. So I wish it would kind of just stay like this. I kind of like the look, but I don't really want to start playing with filler to really plump my lips. I think that that's a slippery slope. I just want my lips to look like my lips, just younger and a little more lush. So anyway, let me just stop talking and show you my lips. So it's been 3 full days since I had it done. We're about 72 hours out. And today I noticed that the bruising is very, very minimal, like hardly anything at all. I'm not sure about the swelling. I noticed it's gone down a lot, but I don't know how much swelling I still have. I did not experience any discomfort whatsoever after the procedure. My lips were not sore or tender. I think I say in one of the video clips that's surprising because they're so bruised and probably swollen that I'm surprised that I'm not more uncomfortable. But I just wasn't. I was able to eat, drink, do everything, move my lips, really rub them together, and it didn't cause any pain. And I've been, pretty pleased with it. I was very displeased with all the bruising and swelling, but I did expect it. I knew that my lips are, they're a very vascular area. Everyone's are. And I know that I can bruise. I've bruised before when I've had Botox injected. So I did expect maybe a little bit of bruising. I think the bruising was a little bit worse than I expected, especially the first night when I washed off all my makeup and I saw all this bruising on my lip, and it almost looked, it was definitely black and blue, and it looked really scary. So I was not really pleased with that, but I didn't have anything important to do. And plus we're wearing masks when we're out and about. So I was still able to run my errands and things like that. And yeah, so day 3, I'm pretty pleased, you know. I'm going to bring you in close so you can see how they look 72 hours out. And I'm wearing a pretty sheer lip gloss with lip liner today. And so this is how my lips should look, a little bit less swollen, but similar over this next 6 to 9 months. And then at that point, I'll decide if it's something I'd like to do again. But I just thought I would come on and share my experience with you. And I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions at all or comments, please leave them down below in the comment section. I will add that I know that this isn't for everyone, and some of you may, you know, think I'm crazy for doing it. But, you know, I'm 53 years old and I'm an educated person, and I really educated myself about the procedure, and I felt well prepared and decided that it was something that I wanted to do. So I hope that everyone will respect that, and I have a feeling that will be true, at least for all my normal subscribers, because you're all so sweet to me, and I can't imagine anyone saying anything mean. I just can't. So thank you for being so great and allowing me to share with you as much as I want to, and feeling comfortable because you've made it a safe place for me. But I do know this video will bring in other people that don't normally watch my channel, and you might think they look horrible. And if you do, you know, that's your prerogative. Please just, you know, be kind. And I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.